Good morning, afternoon, whatever it do for you. We are recording part 2 of the Davinci series. I haven't, at this point in time, I have not posted the first one yet. I probably will after I finish this up, but in this part we'll be going over like video, just like basically just this tab right here and how videos work, clip color, compound clips, and change clip settings. I will not be going over image transition effects. I won't be going over anything fusion wise or fusion clip, VFX clip. Won't be doing any of that. I'm just showing you what I'm familiar with and then maybe an extra few things. So the issue is how to start this. So basically, if you remember when I was showing you the UI, you click on this inspector tab, right? And it will put you on video. Now, video has a ton of different options. It has transform, cropping, dynamic zoom, composite, which is if you're an artist, it's like your different layer effects. Speed change, which I don't really use. Stabilization, which I don't really use, but I am intrigued to see how it does work, so I'll probably learn that myself with y'all. Lens correction, which I don't really use. Retime and scaling, which I don't use. And AI super scale, which I never use. I don't use AI anything. So, just let that be known. So, I think a good part would be to chop this up. Now, if you do not remember how to import a video, you can either drag and drop it directly from your files onto the timeline, or you can drop it into the media pool. So for example, let's bring this back here. When you take it from the media pool, it'll bring it back here. When you're first importing a video, it will ask you if you want to change the frame rate. Always do that, because if you do not change the frame rate and you have multiple audio channels, or if your footage is going at specific frames per second, it's not going to show up. End of story. We're going to delete that. So I guess for starters, I'll just let you see how I edit. Give me a moment. Okay, we have this pulled up so you can at least see my mouse. I'm just going to do some clip editing, and I'll keep it slow for the first little bit, and I'll just basically explain what I'm doing if I even remember, because I hit a flow state when I'm doing this, so I'm sorry. And I'll explain this process again too. Now, if you're like an actual like professional editor, like you do it for a living and other stuff, it could be different for you. But one way I like to split my passes for a video is in cuts. This part right now, no audio effects, no changes or anything. I call that a rough cut. Once I start adding music and different zoom ins and stuff, like just slightly, just barely, that's my detail cut. Now I can either leave it at a detail cut, or I can do a final cut where I do all these extra zoom ins, all these extra frame changes, all these extra little laughing sections, like I would do for editing Loki's videos, things like that. So I think just for these purposes, I'll just edit in silence so you can see what I'm doing. So right here, since it's the beginning, I'm gonna hit B, I'm gonna unlink that, I'm gonna hit inspection. I don't know if there's a specific hotkey for that. I would love a hotkey. If you remember, left click, move your mouse right, makes it zoom in. Left click, push your mouse left, zooms out. So I'm gonna zoom it in, I'm gonna do this. Now, if you unlink this is where you get the weird aspect ratio stuff. So if you like stretching images a lot, that's for you. Just Control Z that. You don't have to. Gonna hit B again. Basically just following the audio waveform. Where's chaotic at? Mr. Light Fox. I'm gonna zoom in on him a little bit. I'm just gonna stretch it out like that, because stretching footage has been a popular thing in editing, I've noticed. Congrats on graduation. Please ignore my laptop going beast mode. It just does that. Why he look like that? I'm trying to hold back on any, like, going in here, because it's a muscle memory of mine to go switch between tabs, which is something you'll learn at some point too once you start messing around with DaVinci. You'll be flipping through these panels a lot. Like, I alternate through the effects tab and this tab quite a lot. But, let's just save that for later. Now, this is one of the situations where if you're a long form person and you just like barely edit clips, then it's not a problem for you. But for someone like me who tries to keep them episode lengths to like 24 minutes or more, max 45, minimum maybe like 10, that could be an issue for you. So we're just gonna keep in mind the dead space. That is true. I'm proud of you, Chaotic. Congrats. We'll just jump skip to here. Now you can either backspace and push it up, or delete it because there's nothing messing with it in front of it. So we'll just hit delete and do that. We're gonna cut that. We're gonna zoom. I don't know who this person is, but all power to you, cause like, what? Is that supposed to be Maka? I think my Lisa gameplay was kind of buns here. I don't know why I said that, but we're gonna ignore it. What made me say that? And I'll just jump cut that. Now, I think that's another good thing to say, is there's a difference between just doing a small cut and a jump cut. A jump cut is when you're going from one place in the footage to a further place, whether that be 30 seconds, a minute, 10 minutes down the line, stuff like that. A regular cut is just like, oh, they're not really speaking that much, so let's push some footage over. Like, one thing I know I do for Loki's editing a lot. I know I talk a lot because I kind of process as I'm speaking, but for people who process after they speak, if that makes sense, it might be beneficial for you to do small cuts here and there to push the talking back up, especially if you want to keep retention, like viewer retention. It's not something you have to do. If you don't care what the viewers think, if you don't care about the algorithm or whatever, then completely throw out the window what I said. Again, I'm trying to make this as, like, easy going, like you're talking to someone as possible. But for this, it's just gonna be like a little jump. Little jumpies. And I'm actually gonna jump up here and do that. It was another good spot to go to. And like cool little stuff like this is Daybreak. I can't see anything with that, by the way. That thing is ginormal. I think this is a good time now, since we're 10 minutes in, to address clip color. Excuse me. Now, if you remember, if you click this, right, and you right click, there's this thing called clip color, and you have all these colors. Now, I don't use clip color too often. I only just started using it like a month or two ago, but generally, any video that you import will be this, like, just this regular blue, and any audio channel you import will be this regular green. If you put in a few, what is it called? if you put in something called a fusion composite, that will be this weird, like, navy color, which doesn't really look like navy, but I don't know. Now, if you have the footage linked like I do, and you do clip color, let's say we want it to be orange, it's going to make all of them orange. So what I suggest you do to be able to further recognize that this is a video clip, this is an audio clip, despite them being already split, is unlink the footage and just clip them differently. So I'll always make, if I'm clipping a video with linked audio underneath it, I'll make the video clip color darker than the audio clip color. So let's say that's orange and this is yellow. So then I can distinguish, okay, this is a linked clip. Now, also, since I did that, when you unlink it and you want to color everything the same, you can either do, let's try it this way. You can do, when you're selecting things, there's two methods you can do, Control and Shift. Control allows you to like go in between stuff willy-nilly. See how you have all these things selected and there's still space in between. I did that using Control. So you hold Control and then you left click all these options. That can go up or down or whatever. So if I unlink this, I do this. It's not gonna inheritably change anything. Now if I do Shift, it's gonna take everything in between. And now you have like this nice little box of stuff you're selecting. Nice little package box, send it to the UPS, big except for the big man. And same thing works for link clips too. So if I do that and do this, Shift is just an easier method. You just kind of have to be careful with it, because if you have some really narrowly cut clips, let's say if I move like this, it may not capture these tiny little clips all the time, especially if you're zoomed out like this. So just be very wary of that. Anyways, what was I saying? I wanted to do that. So what I'm going to do, just as a reminder for myself, I'm going to make this navy, and I'm going to make these like a teal, just so I remember. And if you also remember from the first one, if you hit M, you create a marker. You can either create a marker on the footage or on the timeline. I just make markers on the timeline. If you right click it, or no, if you double click it, you can give it a name. So I'll just put reminder for zoom in. I mean, let's do transformation, which editing is actually video 3. F3. And I'm gonna make it yellow. And we're actually gonna go backward since we're doing this now too. Where's another spot I wanted to edit? I don't remember where I wanted to put it, so we'll just leave that for now. And we're gonna jump cut again, somewhere funny. Let's just... it's not gonna be a super long video, I don't think. Let me just jump up here. You can see her coming through there. My looping sucks, by the way. I think I got down here. Yeah, I think I definitely got killed right here. Yep. Oh yeah, this was after that little cheesy veil badge. The morning cut. I remember what this is now. By the way, how are y'all doing? I didn't even think to mention that. We're 15 minutes in. Now, let's see. What would be another Good thing the teachings were 15 minutes in. Compound clips. Correct. Okay. I think it would be a good time to re-go over the change clip. Or no. Compound clip, actually, would probably be a good one. So, you remember the selection method I mentioned before? For this, we'll tap this. We'll do shift, click this a little bit a ways away from it, and you right click, and you can do new compound clip. Now, it'll show you this. The start time code, I don't really mess with. If you want something deeper for that, you can you can look up another thing. But just for simplicity's sake, we're gonna name it compound clip example. And we're gonna hit create. Now watch this. It's going to condense everything, including the audio channels, into this one clip. So all these audio channels you see right here are shaved into this one audio channel with video one, or the video it was linked with, let's just say. Now you can change the color, the same thing as everything else. You can transform it the same as everything else. It'll just affect the entire clip. All that fun stuff. Now, change clip settings. We'll do this, for example. Now, if you right click this, or actually no. Let's do the Control R method I mentioned before. We're gonna hit Control R. I'm gonna change it to 400 speed. We're gonna hit Control R again. We're gonna push this up. One thing I like to do, I do it a lot for my videos. I also do it sometimes for Loki's. Just for this edit's sake, I'm gonna import a sound clip. Give me a moment. What am I thinking of? Okay, I think I found it. Do this here. Just, something I like to do. I'll eventually make it at some point where I explain. I've been thinking about this for months. I really need to just go ahead and make it where everybody inheritably has their own editing style. Everyone also edits at a different speed. Think of it like drawing or creating or writing. One person may add all these fine details with extra text for people who are speaking, which in turn will take much longer. But then you have the other people who are fine with the long form, easy to consume, easy to roll with content. Now, you also have the people on top of these things who may make different stylistic choices that may either add on to or compromise digestibility, if that is even a word. For me, my biggest editing inspirations have to be Lawap and Corey Kenshin. I grew up watching Corey Kenshin like 2016 to 2018, 2020, pre-COVID, post-COVID, that type of thing, before he did all these leaves. Now, then I watched a lot of A.O. Audwin, which if you hear the slide if you're with me, that was from one of those songs from Prod. I mean, from Prop, who's on his little VIP thing, who would submit all these troll beat songs, and they would be some of the craziest stuff you've ever heard, but it would also be so catchy at the same time. Say they want to drip like me, I don't believe them, leave them. Say they want to drip like me, I might just bleed them. It's Sky Zone, pull them on mic to see them. It's like Sky Zone, bounce that trampoline, bleed them. And I take that one clip, that's like the slide if you're with me. That's what I use. You can do stuff like that too. But the one thing I love about Lawap's videos is just, they have this sense of rawness to them. And with that like Adult Swim text and like Adult Swim bumpers and the little intermissions like you see me do in my videos sometimes, especially like the third of the month uploads I would do back in my freshman year of university. I would make the stylistic choices to add those because I feel like it adds not only what's it called? Not only does it add narrative to said video, it makes it feel like owned, if that makes sense. Like, it makes it feel like somebody put care into it, and that it's a genuine human product, that like an AI or like spam shorts people or whatever. Now when I say spam shorts, I mean people who are like doing these AI shorts or stuff that's like not even like really worth your viewing time. Long story short, I'm making the stylistic choices to add stuff that may risk retention, but for the people who do stay, it's a worthwhile experience. And if you're somebody who cares about experience in a sense like I do, then that may be something beneficial. So for example, and we'll get to this when we get to all the editing effects and stuff in 3 to 4 later down the line. I love using the Adult Swim font text. Now, whether I legally can, I'm not monetized, so it doesn't really matter to me anyway. But some people, I don't know if you've seen the YouTubers who do these very 2013 style of editing, or like, and then this is just me using the aesthetic. Cute core, maybe like very pastel-y and pinky and Sanrio. Maybe some people who love really like blinky, like early 2000s, like kind of like alternative, or maybe even a step further gothic type of style of editing. Some people may like adding CG, some people may like having consistent intros, some people may like having consistent outros, some people may like having music throughout their experience, some people may like it to just be the game audio and them, so it feels more personal. I like it to be a mix of all of these things. I'm yapping a little too much. So, one of the things I kind of started doing from LBOP, I like to do these little sped up intermission sections. So I'm gonna put this at 50%. We're gonna put a marker. Let's do M. We're gonna say add text later episode ? We're gonna make it tan, like a khaki color. We're gonna turn this volume down actually. And that'll just be a reminder for me to do that later. And now, back to clip color. Normally, when I do clip color, I do it in a very specific way. So video and like the base imported video and audio will always be the base color it starts with. If I do music and stuff, I'll also keep it that same green because it's in a separate audio channel away from everything else. Hold on. Okay, I think we're cool for now. For audio effects and everything, I will normally do like olive. And if any other organization, I might do yellow. If I do text for during the video and not in a credit scroll of what track is being used, which I highly recommend that you credit the tracks you use within the video so you don't have to take the time to, do it in the description or anything. Even though, like, if you use anything from Epidemic Sounds or anything royalty free, I 100% would put it in the description anyway. But if you're using like game OST, especially really old ones from like the PS1 to the Wii era, like I am, I would credit them within the video. And if you want to take that extra step to credit them in the description, then I would also do that. That is a really good extra step to take if you're like concerned with, strikes and everything. But moral of the story too with that is just be sure you know where you're getting your audio from and look in other videos that use that audio. Let's say people who just upload the OST to see if they get hit with the copyright thing at the bottom or not. Because that will disable your shop and that will disable monetization. You know what I mean? But anyway, I digress. I'll get to you when I'm done with messing with. Okay, I'm back. Now, actually, I lied. Hold on. I think everything should be fine. They should not be allowed to fly that close to... They should not be allowed to fly that close to homes, but whatever. Now that we're done editing or doing our little rough cut thing, your timeline may look like one of two things. It can look very sparsely cut, so maybe a little bit longer or a little more akin to the original footage. Or it can look like something like this. Editing me put the timeline for freaking Loki's Nathan misguide. Or it might look something in between like this. No matter how many cuts you have, it is perfectly okay. I'm just gonna be real. Like, some people do a lot of hyper editing and have a bajillion million cuts, like more than me, and I have a lot of cuts in my videos. Or other things. But congrats, you just did your rough cut. I'm very proud of you. Good job. I don't know if anybody's ever told you they're proud of you before, but I definitely am. So, since we're already like 28 minutes in, I'm just gonna cut it for now. Very brief. Not nothing too crazy. In the third one, we'll go over simple effects, voiceover, and text. So that'll be really fun. I get to show you the transform tool and give you a little guide on the, what is it called? The Fusion tab? Yeah, the Fusion tab. So love y'all. Stay creative and take care. Please be safe in this heat wave. Peace.